Have you ever thought about quitting social media just because you feel like it's harming you more than it serves you? Well, in this video, I want to give you 10 really good reasons why you should finally quit right now and take the leap so that you can get rid of it. Reason number one, this one probably one of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest benefits you'll experience once you actually quit, is that social media is wasting your time, and it is wasting a lot of it, right? I mean, how many hours a day do you spend scrolling through your phone? In my worst days, it probably was like 4, 5, maybe more than that, more hours than that. And the funny thing was, I always felt like I had very little time in my life. I was like, I want to do so many things, but I don't have the time. And then I was looking at my screen time at night and I was like, yeah, okay. That's where all my time is going, right? And you've probably experienced that. The main thing is that we don't even notice, right? It's just 10 minutes here, another half an hour there. It just sneaks into our daily life, and all of a sudden we've spent hours upon hours every single day. Hours which we probably should have used to do more useful stuff, right? Reason number two, and that kind of ties into what I just said. Social media is, or it can be, incredibly addicting. And that's why we use it so much, right? Because we are basically rewarded for using it by the algorithm. We are constantly bombarded with all of this digital stimulation. It's funny, it's sad, it's emotional. And the more we use it, the more we actually want of it. Like it's this never-ending cycle. And even if you scroll for hours, you still don't feel satisfied, right? So it's kind of keeping you hooked and making you addicted. And I don't know about you, but you'll notice that once you withdraw from it, there can be withdrawal symptoms, even though they probably are not as severe as if you're taking drugs or something, but they can be there. And that's another sign that it actually has a very addicting potential. For me, for example, in the beginning, I got angry a whole lot, or impatient. Impatience was one of my biggest problems when I quit, or when I wasn't able to scroll as much as I wanted to, because I always felt like I had to get back to my phone. And that's a bad thing. And we'll see how this ties to other things I'll talk later on about. So reason number three, and you'll see all of these reasons kind of are interconnected. Reason number three, that it's incredibly distracting. And I'm not only talking about notifications here. Obviously, when you try to focus on something and your phone is constantly buzzing and crying and asking for your attention, it's distracting. But also just the thought of social media and wanting to consume it is distracting as well, right? How often does it happen to you? And that's part of the addictive quality I was just talking about. How many times does it happen to you that you randomly pull out your phone without even intending to do so? And then you're wasting your time, you're reinforcing your addictive behavior, and you are just distracted from what you actually want to do. And that's not good. That's not good at all, right? And when we're talking about distraction, and this is reason number four, we also have to talk about your ability to focus. Now, you might say that it's kind of the same, but what I mean is, not only are you distracted by your phone or by social media the whole time, but also your attention span shrinks. The more you are used to being bombarded by short form content, just because we get used to that so quickly, right? These clips are very short, like a couple of seconds to like a minute or so. And then we swipe and there's another piece of entertaining content. And that leads to us losing the ability to focus for longer periods of time, just because we get used to that kind of novelty every couple of seconds. But in real life, there's so many things we have to do that require us to focus for longer periods of time. So that kind of behavior can be really harmful. And you'll notice that if you're working a day job, you'll notice how your ability to focus for longer periods of time deteriorates when you're using social media a whole lot. And then you have the urge to scroll again, right? And you are distracted and you don't get the things done you want to do. And that kind of has to do with reason number 5, which is that social media is messing with your dopamine and basically destroying your ability to enjoy other things in life. Because through that reward system in our head, in our brains, when we scroll, we are rewarded by being stimulated with dopamine so much that it raises the bar of what we are used to, the bar of stimulation so much that everything that has less stimulation, be it reading a book or doing some work, doing some art maybe, that is less stimulating and therefore less interesting for your brain. Sorry, I had to check the battery. It's very low right now. And that will basically destroy your ability to enjoy life in general. And the things that you used to enjoy before kind of being sucked into that social media system. Because everything else in comparison is just dull, right? Every time I have to make the decision between reading a book, like staring at a blank page with a couple of words on it, and scrolling through social media, guess what? I'll always, or most of the time, decide to scroll. Just because it's more stimulating, it's easy. You don't have to focus as much. Your brain doesn't have to work as much. And there's a new clip every couple of seconds. So that's bad too. And it's hurting you a whole lot, right? Which brings me to reason number 6. And this is kind of what all of this leads to. Social media will ultimately make you unhappy or miserable. Partially because of the reason I just told you about. All of these reasons lead into misery. But also because the content on there can be really hurtful. I understand, and I don't want to bash social media per se here, because there are some benefits here, and obviously there can be good content on there, but mostly it will make you miserable because of the standards you're exposed to every single day. Like very beautiful people talking to the camera, very fit people, very rich people, and you cannot do anything but compare yourself to them. At least that is what happened to me a whole lot. I would envy these people a whole lot, and that would make me so miserable. And yeah, again, the fact that I had difficulty to focus, the fact that I was kind of feeling like I was addicted to the thing, all of that tied into that as well. The more I used social media, the more unhappy I got. And there are studies for that. There are studies out there that prove that. It's not something I just imagined, right? And if you are thinking about social media, you probably know this. You probably know how miserable it can make you. Which leads me to reason number 7, which is the content itself. Again, as I said, social media can have its benefits, and there is some good content on there, inspirational content, things you can learn, but there's a lot of bullshit on there as well. There are people who are telling blunt lies. There's content that's just not right. People who want to manipulate you, and so on and so forth. And it is basically filling your mind with bad stuff, with rubbish. And that will influence how you feel and how you act in the world. And that's dangerous. We see it especially like in politics right now. Politics. Many political parties, and I don't want to go into that too much, but try to use social media to manipulate you or to reach you, and they want to fill your mind with certain ideas. And that's kind of harmful, especially since the algorithm always will feed you what you want to hear and will reinforce you with stuff you are that you like. So once you are in this rabbit hole, you only get deeper and deeper into it, because the algorithm sees that, this person is interested in this topic, so I give you more and more of it, which will make it worse and worse. And you don't have a chance, or don't really have a chance, to zoom out and look at other opinions and stuff. Very difficult and very dangerous, right? Reason number 8, and this is kind of a byproduct of this, but social media can lead to destroying your physical health. I see so many young people out there just hunched over their phone like this. And I can tell you from experience that's a very bad thing for your back. And for your overall physical health, especially since it leads to many people not moving as much as they should, because they are sitting at home scrolling through their phone, right? Again, that's only a byproduct. I understand that this is not true for everybody, but for many people it is. I think social media is one reason why many people are not working out as they should, and why they have back pain, for example, right? And then there's reason number 9, the fear of missing out. And this is part of the reason why you have so much difficulty quitting, because social media is very good at presenting information to you that feels important. And when you think about quitting, you also have to think, or very often you'll fear that once you quit, you'll miss out on stuff, because people are sending you interesting things. There's so much you learned on there. You are not up to date with the newest whatever you're following, right? And it feels like there's so much valuable information in there that will that you need in order to live a good life. And that reinforces this fear of missing out. And the problem is there's so much content on social media, you'll never see it all. And you'll always miss out on stuff, no matter how much you watch. And the problem with that is that you're going through life with this fear of missing out. And that leads to you being miserable again in a way, and also not being able to actually enjoy your stuff you are seeing, because you're always in your head, you're always thinking about, I need to scroll, I need to take in this amount of information, because otherwise I'll miss something. Very important. And then the last reason And this is overlooked by many people, I guess. And that's not true for everybody. Again, not all of these reasons I'm talking about right now will fit to your situation, but a lot of them probably will. But this is a very severe one, and we see this in society. People are getting more and more lonely, and this is partially because social media is giving you a wrong sense of connection. Through social media, and at least it's called social media, right? You feel like you're connected to people. You see what other people are doing in stories and what they post. And you feel like, yeah, I know what X, Y, and Z is doing. I feel like we are friends in a way. Maybe you're writing to someone. And it feels like you're constantly connected and you're talking to people or writing with people. And you know what's going on in other people's lives. But it actually is the exact opposite. All you're doing is consuming. And maybe you're sending something out as well, but you're sending it into the void, right? You're sending it via digital media. It's just O's and ones out there. And there's no real interaction here. And that will, over the long term, make you depressed, because we human beings, we need real connections. We need to talk to people one-on-one or in a group. And social media kind of makes it that we stay at home more, maybe, or we feel like we are interacting when we are really not. It's pretty simple to shut someone off by just closing an app, right? Or avoiding arguments, or which are part of social life. But also, like, real good conversations, they don't happen on social media, right? If you feel bad and you want to talk to a friend about it, yeah, you can write someone about it, and that will help in a sense, maybe. Or you can make a voice memo. That's great as well, but it's not the same thing as talking to someone one-on-one. And we human beings, we really want these connections. And social media is kind of making it more difficult to have them, especially since when we actually are in social situations, we are still scrolling, right? How many times do you see people on the bus or on the train just sitting there scrolling? That used to be different before the smartphones. And I don't want to judge here, by the way. I used to be there as well. I've had my fair share of time on a smartphone. But ever since quitting social media, I feel more present, more alive, more connected. I have way more time. I'm more happy. And I finally started to create again, which I used to do a lot as a kid, as a teenager. But when social media came on, I kind of forgot about the beauty of creating something. So I guess that's 10 very good reasons. At least they are for me. And I hope this kind of helps. Every time you think about quitting social media, but you're not sure, maybe watch this video or write these reasons down and remind yourself of how harmful social media can be. And when you quit, but you think about getting back onto the train, think about these reasons as well. Make it show to yourself how bad it can be. So I guess that's enough for today. I hope this kind of helps you to make the decision. I really hope that you take the leap, or that you manage to do so, because again, I feel like it can improve your life a whole lot, and it will make you a happier person, which is all this whole video is about.